Welcome to Flow with the Grow. I'm your host, Sophia, a health and fitness professional, positivity distributor, and a real-life human being with real-life challenges. Every Tuesday, you will hear my honest conversations on the day-to-day highs and lows that life teaches us, as well as bring you actionable tips that you can implement to improve your health and wellness journey. This podcast will empower you to flow with the inevitable setbacks of life. You will learn what it means to flow with the grow, see through a lens of optimism, and navigate your way to living your best life. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Now let's jump into your daily dose of positivity and growth. Okay, we are getting serious today, all about sleep, diving into a few stats that I found on sleep and ways that you can get better quality sleep, because this is important in your health and your wellness, short-term and long-term. By the way, hello, my name is Sophia. I'm the host of Flow the Grow podcast. And if you're new here, just want to say welcome. Thanks for having me in your ears today and listening to me. I had an episode last week, episode 63, where I talked more about the importance of sleep, why you should care about getting sleep. And today I'm going to kind of explain a little bit more about that, as well as giving you a few things, tips that you can do to implement into your lifestyle with getting better sleep. So, pen and paper, phone notes, get ready. This is an underrated aspect of life, I believe, and the detriments that it can have on your health long-term outweighs the short-term benefits of maybe working more, getting things done, that hustle work-life mode. And it's an aspect to your health that I want you to be more aware of and take better care of and prioritize more. In the show notes, I'm going to include some links to studies I found and other research, websites that you can go to learn more if you wish. And also, if you're the type of person who you need to see more information, you want to see the studies, I will provide those for you. Up to 70 million people in the US have a chronic sleep disorder that impacts their health and daily functioning. And about 20% of the serious injuries that result from car accidents can be associated with driver sleepiness. Lack of sleep. And this is actually independent of any effects of alcohol. Maybe sometimes, I know for me, I have been driving on serious lack of sleep, and I find myself not being able to keep my eyes open. Like, I just feel like my eyes are going to fall asleep, and it's really hard to stay awake. Like I talked about in last week's episode, how sleep deprivation is linked and associated to being overweight, diabetes, obesity. There was a 5-year study showed in young adults that sleep loss was strongly associated with an increase in BMI and being overweight. There are many studies and research showing this. Sleep deprivation has been shown to accelerate tumor formation and may increase the risk of cancer. And there's evidence that sleep disruption may increase the risk of certain cancers and deaths in males and suicidal adolescents. And as I was going through some of my own research, I was finding that shift workers, people who do 2 weeks of days, 2 weeks nights, or maybe they're working overnights and it changes all of the time, they were at a higher risk of not only obesity, BMI increase, health concerns, and increased risk for illnesses, but they were also at an increased risk for other serious disorders like cancer and death, and things like Alzheimer's, dementia, and so much more. So if you're a shift worker, I know that I see this all the time at the gym. People are doing shift work, and I know it pays well, but this is maybe something to seriously consider in shifting out of that if possible, if you can. There was one study over a 13-year period of nearly 50% adults, and by the age 27, individuals with short sleep duration, so less than 6 hours, were 7.5 times more likely to have a higher BMI. I am trying to get into your head that with less sleep comes being overweight, diabetes, And I know that if you're listening to this, you're probably wanting to improve your health and wellness. So this is something to seriously consider. Evidence also suggests that deep sleep may protect against Alzheimer's. Researchers are learning that there is a significant relationship between sleep and dementia, and especially in Alzheimer's disease. During deep sleep, the brain follows a slow and steady beat that can help reduce levels of beta amyloid and, I'm not sure how to pronounce this word, but it's spelled tau, which those increase the risk of Alzheimer's disease. And in the short term, also, research links poor sleep to long-term and short-term problems with memory and thinking. Okay, like I said, in the show notes will be links to a lot more studies, a lot more research if you are curious, if you are wanting to learn more. Now I'm going to talk more about things that you can do and implement into your lifestyle to help you get better quality of sleep. And as always, I must pre-frame this by making sure to always consult with your healthcare provider, and especially if you are taking other medications or you have some sort of illness, sickness, and getting other guidance in what the best route for you would be. There are so many other factors that play into better quality of sleep. And although I'm going to be suggesting some things, there could be other things at play that I don't know about. And so just be mindful of that as I'm going through these. So as an overview, I'm just going to list out these first, and then I'm going to take a little bit of a deep dive into each of these to explain them just a little bit more. Number 1, magnesium and melatonin. Number 2, a nighttime sleep routine. Number 3, setting your room temperature to 65 to 67 degrees. And both of those kind of encompass setting the tone, setting your environment to help you go to sleep and get that better quality of sleep. Number 4, nutrition and exercise. Number 5, CBD. Number 6, avoiding caffeine and alcohol. Number 7, being aware of the foods that you're eating close to bedtime. And I say being aware and not saying avoiding food before bed, because I know some people can eat close to bedtime or right before bed, and that's what they need. They're fine with that. They feel okay. Whereas some people like me, when eating close to bed, right before bed, I just don't get the best quality of sleep. I don't sleep well. I wake up a ton during the night. I wake up feeling not well rested and kind of bloated and groggy. And I must note that it totally depends on what I eat and how much, and during the day, how much I ate. Like if I don't eat at all during the day and I just have to obviously have something, then I will eat. So there are a lot of factors that I will talk about that play into this part. And number 8, avoiding bright lights before bed, screen times like your phone, computer, and this is also where I'll talk more about blue light blocking glasses and setting your phone to a setting that is going to help with that as well. Let's first talk about magnesium and melatonin. Both are very different. Magnesium is a supplement that you can take. We already make it in our bodies. It is a natural sleep supplement. It is a nutrient that regulates different body processes, and I'm going to go into that in a moment. Whereas melatonin is a hormone that regulates sleep patterns. And the one you take depends on your goal. Melatonin helps you get to sleep faster, while magnesium helps the body to relax and reduces stress and helps you sleep longer. Magnesium you can take throughout the day and before bed, whereas melatonin you take before bed. And before I go into magnesium, melatonin, anything else, I must note that it is very important to, step 1, take a look at your lifestyle, the foods that you're eating. Are you exercising? What are your stress levels like at work, home? Because that all is also going to play a role in your quality of sleep. And I always recommend focusing on proper nutrients and food first and supplement second. And again, be sure to consult your healthcare provider, especially if you have another illness or you're taking other medications, so that you don't disrupt the absorption of magnesium or melatonin. That can all play a role. It is also important to note that magnesium not only is naturally produced in the body, but also naturally found in a lot of foods, fruits, vegetables, whole foods. So taking a look at the foods that you eat can also help with getting some natural magnesium that way. So what is magnesium? Magnesium is a mineral in the body and, like I said, naturally present in many foods. It's an essential nutrient for more than 300 processes in the human body. For example, it helps maintain a healthy immune system, helps manage blood sugar levels, helps regulate muscle and nerve function, and it is required for energy and protein production, and so much more. And one study that I found that was very interesting to me was that very high doses of zinc from supplements can interfere with magnesium absorption and disrupt the magnesium balance in the body. Personally, I found that interesting because I used to take a zinc supplement with magnesium, and I stopped doing that. And actually, once I stopped doing that, I found that my sleep was a lot better, deeper sleep. There are 3 main forms of magnesium: citrate, oxide, and chloride. I take magnesium citrate, and it's 250 milligrams. I take 2 of those supplements before bed. And for me personally, I have noticed a huge difference when I take that versus when I don't. When I do take it, I sleep. I feel like my body relaxes. I can feel that as I get ready and go to bed. I sleep so much deeper through the night. In fact, I sleep through the night. When I used to not take it, or when I don't take it, I would wake up at least one time in the middle of the night. When I do take it, I wake up 0 times. And when I wake up, I feel like I got such good sleep. I go into the dream stage, so I get really deep sleep when I take it. I feel like I wake up very well rested, even if I get a little less than 7 hours, which for me, 7 to 8 is perfect. And if I get less than 7, usually that is not good for me. But when I take magnesium, I at least feel a little bit better, and I feel like I get quality deep sleep. So the difference for me is just like night and day. It makes a huge difference. And I know that some people may not do well with magnesium. Maybe it's the type, maybe it's other things at play. You kind of have to experiment, see what works, see what doesn't work. It does say to take it with food. So when I take it at night, it's kind of shortly after I have eaten, at least maybe an hour or 2 after I've eaten. But again, experiment, consult with your healthcare provider. And there are other things that you can do and supplement if magnesium does not work for you, or it doesn't make you feel good. I know there are a lot of things on the market for different powders and drinks and things that you can take. Just make sure to do your research, see what's in it, the ingredients, and again, experiment for yourself. Magnesium not only helps with sleep, but it helps with so many other things. One main one being headaches and migraines. Magnesium deficiency in the body is related to factors that promote headaches. People who have migraines and headaches have lower levels of magnesium than those who do not. And low levels can increase the risk of illnesses over time, like cardiovascular disease, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, and again, migraines and headaches. Of course, there are other things at play here other than magnesium. But again, if you are experiencing headaches and migraines, this may be something to consider and have looked at. And on the other hand, excessive amounts of magnesium is also not good. And when taken with other medications, it can interfere with the interaction that magnesium can have in the body. The amount that you take depends on the person, but generally what is recommended is between 300 and 420 milligrams per day. And I also found that researchers don't fully understand the effects magnesium has on sleep, but what is clear is a lack of magnesium negatively impacts sleep. And low levels of magnesium are associated with poor quality sleep, insomnia, anxiety, and depression, which anxiety and depression can then also contribute to poor sleep quality. Next, having a nighttime, sleep time, bedtime routine can definitely help you in sleep quality. The things that you do in the hours preparing for sleep, especially an hour before sleep, can very much impact the quality of sleep that you have. A solid sleep routine can help prepare your body for sleep. So doing things that will help promote sleep, help your body get ready for bed. When I talked about this in the last episode, but when it becomes more nighttime, darker out in the evening time, your body starts to release melatonin, which helps prepare your body for sleep. So doing things to aid in that can only help. Things like turning off screens and phones and computers and not watching TV, although I know some people do it as a way to relax and kind of tune out the world. It can definitely have an effect in your eyes and then on your sleep. So things like maybe taking a bath before bed, having essential oils. Lavender, I know, is a popular one. Reading before bed can sometimes help. Also, not on your phone, not on iPad, but in the actual book. Maybe putting calming music on, meditating. And one thing that you may or may not have known or thought of to do is to set your thermostat, your temperature, to 65 to 67 degrees. The temperature in your room, in your home, in your bedroom can make a big difference in your sleep quality. A National Sleep Foundation poll found that cool room temperature was one of the most important factors in getting a good night's sleep. Our bodies are actually programmed to experience a slight dip in temperature in the evening. So turning the temperature down at night can help with temperature regulation and signal your body that it's time for bed. And the drop in temperature in your body starts about 2 hours before you go to sleep with the release of melatonin. And also it's important to point out that it's important for your body to get into that circadian rhythm and to go to bed the same time every night and to wake up the same time every morning. Now, during sleep, your body temperature continues to fall and reaches a low point, and then as you wake up in the early morning, that temperature gradually increases and warms up as the morning progresses. And I think for most people, if you've ever slept in a hot room, warmer temperature room, the discomfort you feel, the restlessness, you might get stuffy. It's very uncomfortable. And that can interfere with your body's temperature regulation. And then as a result of that, your body will feel fatigue, and you may feel physically and mentally tired and probably experience sleeplessness and not even being able to fall asleep. So the body temperature not only affects the onset of sleep, but the quality of sleep and the time spent in the different stages of sleep. It can cause grogginess the next day and negatively impact your next day, impacting your immune system, memory, and other natural processes. Other things that you can do to help with this is to have a fan. In the wintertime, I love to open my windows just a little bit. Moving in the downstairs rooms of your house or apartment. I guess not apartment. That doesn't make sense. In your house, moving to the basement or just sleeping in the basement. Controlling bedroom humidity. And like I said before, taking a bath. Taking a warm bath can help encourage a cool down effect an hour or two before you go to bed. Still following the topic of before bedtime, I think it goes without even needing to say or explain that it's important to not have a lot of caffeine before bed, as that will keep you up, as well as alcohol. Alcohol may sometimes make us feel sleepy and help us go to bed or go to sleep, is what some people would say, but it really affects the quality of sleep that you get. Alcohol is a central nervous depressant, and it causes the brain activities to slow down. So although you may feel relaxed and sleepy, the consumption of alcohol, especially in excessive amounts, has been linked to poor sleep quality and duration, so how long you sleep. And studies have shown that alcohol can increase those symptoms of sleep apnea. As far as caffeine goes, caffeine promotes alertness. It is a stimulant, and it blocks a receptor that keeps you from feeling sleepy. And a fun fact, it reaches a peak level within 30 to 60 minutes and has a half-life of 3 to 5 hours. And the half-life is the time it takes for your body to eliminate half of that stimulant. And the remaining can actually stay in your body for a long time. For most people, the caffeine comes from either pop or especially coffee. Caffeine can reduce, again, the amount of sleep you get, the quality of sleep. So just make sure to be more aware of how closely you are having caffeine before bed. One study found that consuming caffeine 6 hours before bedtime reduced total sleep time by 1 hour. And in adults, it takes a lot longer for the caffeine to process. Also, before bedtime, which can highly affect and impact negatively your sleep, is bright lights and blue light from phones, TVs, iPads, iPods, electronics, even bright light from alarm clocks. Light affects the production of melatonin, and it plays a huge role in regulating your circadian rhythm, which I don't know if I mentioned this before, but it is the body's internal clock that signals when to be alert and when to rest. Now, there are different types of lights that can affect sleep and impact sleep in a different way, but studies have found that blue light has a significant larger effect on melatonin and the circadian rhythm. So blue light, artificial light from any electronic devices, and this is where blue light blocking glasses can help. If you work at night or maybe you're going to be on your phone, considering blue light blocking glasses, or I know on some devices, like I know for my phone, there's a setting that will automatically turn down the blue light, which can help as well. There's research that shows that just closing your eyes does not block all light. I know for myself, if I watch Netflix or I'm on my phone a lot right before I sleep, even 30 minutes to an hour before sleep, or especially if I'm laying in bed looking at my phone or watching Netflix before bed, I can hugely tell the impact it has on my sleep. Not only my sleep quality, the deep sleep that I get, but when I wake up, my eyes hurt, I feel groggy. I can really tell personally. I can just feel the strain that it had on my eyes. So making your room as dark as possible will help in getting better quality sleep and being more mindful of the electronics you use and less screen time, less watching Netflix, less phone time, which I know that comes with a discipline factor because we are just always on our phones. And I know how addicting social media can be. And not only that, but for me, when I'm looking at my phone, social media, watching a show, it makes my brain go, go, go. Like I am not in the right mindset to sleep. I am not relaxing my brain. I'm not relaxing my body. And that affects the quality of sleep that I get. So I have to be very intentional with what I do before I go to bed and being disciplined in that to get the best quality of sleep that I can. Moving on to having a proper diet, so the nutrition that you have, the food that you eat, and daily exercise. Evidence shows that daily exercise helps you fall asleep and impacts sleep quality. The exercise that you have can have short-term benefits. You can notice it right away. You can get better sleep maybe within that first day of you exercising, but the biggest impact will come longer term. If you have that consistent exercise, it will help you in consistently sleeping better. And just like getting enough sleep is associated with healthy weight loss or gaining weight, having good nutrition can optimize your sleep as well. There may be certain foods that help you sleep well and affect the quality of sleep. And just like I talked about in the previous episode, poor quality of sleep increases that hormone ghrelin that promotes and increases cravings, and you will likely not eat as healthy. So it all plays a role, and it's important to look at both sides of that. Earlier, I said to be aware of the foods that you're eating before bed. Everyone is different, and you may have heard the phrase or that it was best to not eat 2 hours before bed or to make sure there's a certain time, and that is false. There are so many other factors that go into play here. It's more important to look at what you're eating before bed and even just throughout the entire day. For me personally, it's best when I eat an hour before bed or just make sure I don't eat closer to when I go to sleep because I don't get as much sleep. I feel groggy in the morning, kind of weighed down. I wake up more in the middle of the night, but it largely depends on what food I eat and how much. If I have a lot of highly processed sugary foods before bed, I will definitely not sleep well. But if I have nutrient-dense foods before bed, I'm okay. I feel great. I usually don't like to be going to sleep on a full stomach, so I still make sure to eat a little bit before bed if I do that. But if I have not eaten all day and I need something and it's an hour before I want to go to bed, I'm definitely going to be having something. And let's say I have eggs, vegetables, sweet potato, rice, anything like that, that won't personally impact my sleep. I feel okay. But again, if I have any highly processed foods, a lot of sugar, that will definitely impact my sleep quality. Everyone's lifestyle is different when you exercise, what you eat throughout the day, how much, the types of foods that you're eating, hormones, stress, it all plays a role. So I am not going to sit here and say you must wait 2 hours after you eat before you go to bed. I'm not going to say you should eat this, you should eat that, you shouldn't eat this, you shouldn't eat that. Every body is different. And lastly, CBD. I wanted to put this in there because I have used it myself and I have experienced positive impacts from using it for my sleep. I have used it with also taking magnesium, and I've also used it on its own. And both ways have really helped me to get that better quality of sleep. I feel like I get deep sleep. I wake up and I feel well rested. There is some research that CBD may interact with specific receptors and potentially affecting the sleep-wake cycle. And CBD may also decrease anxiety, depression, pain, which can both interfere and have an effect on restful sleep. According to WebMD researchers, results on CBD are mixed. So far, there have been many controlled studies to show that THC or CBD or a mix, a combination, can boost sleep quality. Again, please consult your healthcare provider. I am not a doctor. I am not a specialist by that in any means. I am not qualified to prescribe to you any sort of supplement or medication. I am simply just sharing information, things that have worked for me, research that I have learned, and passing that on to you. So just a quick overview, recap the things that you can do to start to implement into your life to help you get better quality of sleep. Taking a magnesium supplement, melatonin, or some other form of supplement that like a powder or a drink of some sort. Just make sure you do your research. I know one out there called Calm. Having a nighttime sleep routine about an hour before bed and making sure to set the environment up for your sleep, like the temperature, moving that down to 65 to 67 degrees, avoiding bright lights, turning down lights, avoiding screens, computers, iPads, phones, TVs, and being intentional about that, avoiding caffeine and alcohol, being more aware of the foods that you're eating before bed and when and how much, the types, being mindful of your nutrition and the foods that you eat throughout the day, getting daily exercise, avoiding other bright lights like street lights, alarm clocks, and CBD. If you have any other ideas that have helped you to get better quality of sleep, I would love to know about those. And I hope this helped you. Maybe try 1 or 2 things to start with and slowly implement these habits into your life. Experiment for yourself, see what works, what doesn't, and let me know. Let me know what works. Let me know if you have any other ideas. I'm on Instagram if we have not yet connected at Sophia_Dawn41. So that's SOPHIA_DAWN41. If this did help you, take a screenshot of the show, put it up on your stories, spread the word. Let's help make sleep an important part of health and wellness of life and help other people to realize they need to prioritize this by sharing this information and the tips that I gave today. I truly do hope this helped you and you found value in this. If you did and you have not yet, please leave a rating and review of the show. I would truly appreciate that. You're amazing. I love you. I care about you. I care about your health and your wellness. And I hope you care about your health and wellness as well. And if you're listening to this, it's a sign that you do. And you should be proud of that. Have a great rest of your day, night, week, weekend. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Flow with the Grow. I'll see you next week for your daily dose of positivity and growth.